Hello, hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I am feeling, well not feeling, I feel like I'm looking a little bit puffy this morning, and I also feel as though my voice is about an octave lower than normal, but it is quite early in the morning because I wanted to film this before work because I wanted to have decent lighting, and I think this is okay. I think this works. So I thought I would let's see how we go. For a small palette, I thought I might do a small video. So this is the Mini Charms 9 colour palette from Beauty Bay, and this is what it looks like on the inside. And I have swatched these already because I want to put them on my eyes, and I wanted to see what colours, which shimmers would look quite nice next to each other. So I'm going to show them to you now as I'm just sort of talking through these shades. Closest to my wrist and then going down, we've got Milky Way, Supernova, Infinity, Aurora, Cosmic, Eclipse, Mystic, Pluto and Ethereal. And what I found as I was swatching this is that Milky Way, Supernova and Infinity looked very similar, and then Aurora, Cosmic and Eclipse looked very similar. And then also to an extent Mystic and Ethereal. Only really Pluto bucks the trend and it doesn't fall into the pink, purple, blue vibe. Pluto's a bit more silvery. So I was quite surprised by how similar these all look, but they do have ever so slightly different shifts to them. Ever so slightly, and I'm thinking possibly that's what Beauty Bay had in mind when they curated this palette. I mean, I'm hoping that's what they had in mind when they created this palette, otherwise they're just very, very similar for no apparent reason. What I'm thinking I will do is I'll delve into the big palette, so the 20 pan Celestial Charms, for some shimmer, not some shimmer shades, these are the shimmer shades, for some matte shades, and then I will do sort of two looks, and maybe on one eye I'll kind of put the, or do I go deliberately with the different shifts? Either way I want to use Pluto because that's the most distinctive shade, the most standout shade I think from this palette. It's like a really, like a pewter silvery type shimmer. So let's see what matte I want to put down to start with from the big palette. I think what I might do is maybe Omen in the corners. I'll do the same thing on both sides, so I'll just put some Omen on the outside and then a bit of maybe Orion in my crease slash this vicinity. So I've laid down a base of Omen and Orion on both sides because I think that's quite a nice starter to put these shades, these shimmers on. And now to decide what ones to use. I quite like the idea of using Mystic, Pluto and Ethereal together. Pluto should definitely go on the inside. I'm looking here because the swatches are still on my arm. But I think Pluto should definitely go on the inside, with the Ethereal on the very outside, and Mystic on the middle. Let's try that. So let's start with Ethereal. See, this is what I wanted from the shimmers in the main palette. See, that's nice going back in. I don't know if I'm being a bit optimistic with how much space I've got on my lids and how much I can get away with putting on there. Let's get a flat brush. So I'm just putting a bit more ethereal on a flat brush here, so I can tidy this up a little bit. Yeah, see, that to me, this is what I wanted from the Big Pan palette. The Big Pan? This is what I wanted from the 20 pan palette, from the shimmers, and I just feel that the shimmers in there are a bit lacklustre to me, and it's almost as if, I mean, I've only put one shade on my lid, but it's like they've put the effort and the concentration on the shimmers in here and gone a bit subpar with the shimmers in the bigger palette. That's just how I'm feeling about it. So now let's put a bit of Mystic right next to that. Okay, that does look visibly different. I wasn't sure it would. Blend that in a little bit, or where they meet. Yeah, I like this. This is better. This is better. I'm scratching my nose. I'm hoping I'm not getting shimmer particles all over. I will deepen up that corner a little bit. I'll go in with Omen again. But that's pretty. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Pluto. And I'm going to put that on the inside here. Ooh, I knew I was going to like Pluto. Oh, Pluto is nice. It's just, I mean, I know it's only a silver, but there's just something about only a silver. But just look at that. That's beautiful. I'm impressed with this. The big palette. I do need to play with the big palette more. As I think I said, the jury is still out. But this palette, yes. And I want to say this is £10 for a tenner. £10. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the big palette just so I can get Omen, deepen this up a little bit. I think they have gone for that, the subtle, they're similar but subtly different. So I think when you kind of twist, you can, I don't know if that's doing anything on camera, probably nothing. I might just be moving my head from side to side for no reason whatsoever. I quite like the idea of putting, so rather than going by row, I like the idea of putting Infinity, Aurora and Cosmic to get together. Infinity on the outside, Aurora inside and Cosmic in the middle. Let's try that. Let's try it that way around and see. And that'll mean I've used 6 of the 9 shades, which isn't bad. Try not to start too far. See, you see that? That's what I've come to expect from shimmery shades. And these are drier. So the shimmers in the big palette, at least the ones that I've played with so far, they've got a bit of a putty-like texture. You can almost see it squishing in the pan when you put your brush or your finger in there. So this is one where the shades aren't printed down at the bottom. You can obviously see it's just it's like cardboard packaging. I think the bit in the middle is plastic that they're in, and it's a plastic sheet here that I'm referring to that's got all the names on it. Yeah, see this is nice. I've probably taken it a bit too far in. Maybe I need to get some silicone applicators. I do like using my finger, but sometimes it's hard to be precise. So that was Infinity, and then I think I said, let's do Cosmic next. No, let's do Aurora. I'm going to put Cosmic on the inside. Wow. I think that looks pretty good. I like that, and you can see the difference. You can see a very distinct shade there, very distinct shade there, and obviously they kind of meet there. Just sort of tidying it a little bit. Cosmic on the inside. Don't know if you, oh yeah, you can see the distinction. I'm hoping you can pick this up, because I wasn't sure, but yes, I can see the difference. I think that's my only complaint. I do wish that there was more variety. Like, I think I get it, and I do have to remember this is only £10, but a bit more variety would have been nice. It's almost as if they've kind of had a very similar base, like they've kind of mixed up a batch of something, then they've divvied it out into 9 and just maybe added a little splash of a certain colour to create the palette. So there's just, yeah, just not enough variety. That's my only criticism. But the formula and the way that it looks on the eyes, I'm impressed. And have I mentioned it's only a tenner? Like, whew. Right, so I'm going to do exactly what I did on the first eye, tidy it up a little bit, smoke it out, do some concealer, basically finish off my face and give you my final first impressions in case you haven't already gleaned what I'm thinking. Back shortly. This is both eyes complete, so I feel like that's more purpley bluey silver, and that's more pinky goldy purple. Yeah, I think those are the vibes I'm getting. Are you feeling more of the bluey purpley silver or the pinky purpley gold? Really, from a distance, it doesn't look like I've got two different eyes. I don't think so. It's only really when you get up close that you can see that there's a difference. So that does look brighter. I think maybe that's the thing you'd probably see from a distance, that maybe this eye looks brighter than this eye. But having said that, and I may be repeating myself, I apologise, it's early in the morning, I haven't even had a coffee yet. My only criticism is that lack of variety. That's my only criticism. I wish, and I mean, you can't compare it to like a £125 palette or however much the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 6 is, because it's obviously an expensive palette, but there is variety in there. You've got green, you've got purple, you've got pink, you've got orange, you've got blue, and they're all very distinctive. These are all in a very similar colour story. I mean, you can see it in the swatches, which I might sort of go back to just so to remind you of what those swatches look like, but you can see it that they're just, the gradient isn't steep enough. I think that's how I would describe it. Having said that, for £10, Beauty Bay have knocked it out of the park with this. While I've not been immediately impressed with the big Celestial Charms, I have been immediately impressed with this mini charms. It's a drier formula, and I thought I'd get a lot of fallout actually. For the price point, I mean, if I was going to say which one should you get, this one. Hands down, because it's different. Beauty Bay haven't done something like this before. I mean, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I am quite new to the Beauty Bay scene. If you were torn and you were thinking to yourself, do you know what? I don't want to get both. Which one should I get? This one. There's just no question about it. This one. This one. I think it's stunning. And I'm just going to double check. I keep referring to it as being £10. I'm 99.9% sure that it is. £10 for 9 shifty, shimmery, duochrome-y. I mean, we've not gone as far as multi-chrome, but, and I don't know if I'd class all of them as duos. Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. My first impressions is I love it. I think it's great. Obviously it's limited, you can't use this on its own. So I can definitely see myself using these together and maybe using it to help the shimmers in this pop more. They do make good companions, and I think I would delve into the mattes a lot in here while using these as my shimmers slash toppers. As a duo, I can see the merit in having both, but if for some reason you only wanted to pick up one of them, it's got to be the small pan. It's got to be. I'll definitely revisit the 20 pan Celestial Charms to see if my opinion still stands, but my mind I think is already made up on Mini Charms. It's a winner. So I apologise if that's been a bit repetitive and rambly. As I say, it's early in the morning here. This is Gem, coffee free. But I wanted to film this because I'm conscious that the part 1, so Celestial Charms 20 pan went up earlier, and I kind of wanted to follow up quite quickly with the 9 pan in case anyone was looking into getting that as well. So I do hope that you found this video useful. If you have, and if you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing before you leave. Hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye!